Would you say it's like hard to understand, like
Yes, I
the
would
men's struggles?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I think, again, women's brains are wired differently.
Your girlfriend is never going to love you the way that you love her. There's no equality in relationships. Men and women are different. The level of compassion, care, and empathy that you give towards her is not going to come back to you, and the expectation that it will is going to make you miserable. Empathy just doesn't flow from women towards men. That's just not in their biology. They don't view it as their responsibility to take care of the needs of men. What they are biologically designed to do is to take care of children. But when it comes to men, they expect to be taken care of. The men in the house are responsible for everyone. They're responsible for the children, they're responsible for their female partner, and they're responsible for themselves. That's just what a man is. He is the leader, and that comes with certain privileges. Generally, things run the way that you want them to run, and you have the final say on most matters. And so long as you're raising your children correctly and you have a healthy relationship with your partner, then you should be receiving lots of gratitude, which is nice. But while you might receive gratitude, you're not likely to receive compassion. Women are just not hardwired to think at all about your needs. And I understand that for some guys, this can be extremely difficult to understand because it's so different to how they operate. But that's the point. Men and women are different. When you go about your day, every single decision you make, every action you take, you're thinking about how it's going to affect your girlfriend. You're always aware of her needs. Her well-being is always present in your consciousness, and you can sense deep inside yourself at a biological level that as a man, her well-being is your responsibility. Not in a codependent way, but just in a healthy, protective, provider sort of way. What some men don't understand is that that mechanism that you have inside your brain that's aware of how the women in your life are doing, that's not present inside them. You might be constantly thinking about her well-being, but she's not thinking about yours. This is actually why evolution positively selected for the instinct of hypergamy, because women want to date up. They want to date men who are superior. They don't want to be the more capable one in the relationship because that means they're going to have to take care of the man. That goes fundamentally against what's natural to a woman. They want to be taken care of by a man. Now, in a perfect world, men wouldn't need compassion from women. They wouldn't even expect empathy. But so many men did not receive adequate love, attention, and care in childhood because so many mums and dads have got their priorities completely out of whack. They're busy chasing money instead of actually spending time with their children. Or they never properly resolve their own emotional issues, their own childhood trauma, and so they just pass it on to the next generation. So what happens is that men bring all of their unmet emotional needs to their romantic relationships. It's understandable, but it's disastrous because women do not want to mother their boyfriends. They want to be taken care of. Now, none of this is to say that women are incapable of feeling compassion towards a man. Of course they are. The fact that there are women who watch this channel, women who support me on Patreon, is proof that some women do care about men's struggles. I've seen countless examples in my personal life. So I'm not saying that women are incapable of feeling compassion towards a man, but what I am saying is that it is not their default state. It doesn't happen automatically for them like it does for men towards women. It's not this instinct they're born with. It's a muscle that they need to develop and strengthen. You often see this with mothers who have sons, and they perhaps never stop to consider the sort of difficulties and struggles that modern men face, but when they see their own son grow up and face these kinds of issues, they suddenly discover that they have these vast reserves of empathy that they'd never tapped into before. Some of the most passionate activists for clearing the names of young men who are falsely accused of rape are mothers who organized because they saw what happened to their son in a similar situation. But if you want compassion from your partner and you can't wait until she becomes a mother and begins to empathize with her own sons, what you need to do is insist upon it right then and there. You need to state to her explicitly, I'm struggling at the moment. I need some support. She may not have realized because, like I said, that's not her default state. She doesn't have that mechanism that's automatically checking in with the emotional well-being of the men around her. It doesn't even occur to her. But if she's a high-quality woman and you explicitly say to her, I need some help right now, she'll say, yes, of course. What can I do? How can I help? Now, I know that there are men out there who were hoping for compassion from a woman, and so they opened up to her, only to find that she lost attraction to him, and so they've become extremely disillusioned with the female capacity for any kind of compassion. And if that happened to you, I really am sorry, that sucks. And maybe it's easier for you to stomach what happened to you. It makes the pain less to convince yourself that women are just not capable of this kind of thing. But I'm here to tell you that what occurred to you is not inevitable. There do exist women who are wonderful at supporting their partners. And if that's the kind of relationship that you want, then there are 3 things that you should be doing. First, make a concerted effort to reduce your overall emotional neediness before beginning the relationship. It may be that she's happy to be there for you for small or even medium-sized things, but if you have massive unresolved trauma and emotional issues, it's overwhelming to her. So before you even start the relationship, speak to friends, do some research, educate yourself, go to therapy, whatever it takes. Second, make sure you choose a high-quality woman, somebody who is naturally compassionate and caring, somebody who likes to express her femininity by being nurturing to those around her. And finally, be a man who is worth caring about. Be the best version of yourself, a high-quality man, because if you're making her life amazing by being in it, then she's going to be thrilled to return the favor. Now, having said all that, it's important that you remember that a woman is not going to love you in the exact same way that you love her. Men and women are different, and that's okay. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. We don't want to date men anyway. We want to date women, but they are women, and they operate differently to men. You don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, because that's not what they were designed to do. So don't judge women by their inability to do something that they were not designed to do. Women are capable of being compassionate and nurturing towards men, but it's not their default state. Is closure necessary after a breakup? That's the topic of my latest video. I talk about why it's a good idea at first to not speak to your ex after a breakup, and why the most important relationship is your relationship with yourself. I talk about the shift that should occur when you move beyond caring what she thinks about you. And lastly, I talk about the importance of data collection and how to go about it, where you find out exactly what you did wrong in the relationship and what she did wrong. If you've recently been through a breakup and you're interested in seeking closure, or you don't know whether or not to contact your ex, I highly recommend this video. For every video that I post on YouTube, I post an additional bonus video on my Patreon page. That means that at the moment, you're only seeing half of the total content that I create. If you want access to the other half, then please go and sign up at my Patreon. It's just a $5 a month subscription, and instantly you'll get access to my whole backlog of exclusive videos. It's a wonderful way to support the channel, and I would love to see you over there.